Soon it's the 1st of September, when the kids finally go back to school. But in the meantime, it's the Palestinian Authority that's giving Israel a schooling. In 2009, then Prime Minister of the Palestinian Authority, Salam Fayyad, came out with his plan to take over strategic areas in Judea and Samaria, in defiance of international law and of the Oslo Accords. The goal? To create a de facto Palestinian state in Israel's heartland. Sounds crazy, right? Well, part of the plan is simply to invade lands under Israeli jurisdiction and build more and more structures, as many as possible, quickly, illegally, strategically. These structures include schools, built all over Area C, funded generously by European governments. We at Regavim got our hands on the PA's plans and carried out research on the ground. We're talking about 100 schools built without permits. Dozens of these schools are on Israeli state lands, even on archaeological sites, on an IDF training grounds. Dozens. But you may be thinking, these schools are crucial for the education of Palestinian school children. But no, all of these schools, without exception, are extremely close to schools that already exist in Arab towns and cities. According to PA statistics, the average number of students per class is significantly lower than in Israel and even than in Jordan. But you see, that's the whole point. These schools don't serve an educational or humanitarian purpose. These schools are politically motivated. They're placed strategically throughout the territory and create an impossible situation for Israel. Knock them down and Israel's the bad guy, condemned by the international media and community. But leave them standing and Israel compromises its key strategic interests. The Palestinian Authority is playing the game, cynically exploiting school children in order to advance a political ploy. Remember Khan al-Ahmar? It all started with a school, and now it's turned into a diplomatic and international hot potato that the State of Israel fails to deal with. If the State of Israel doesn't want to deal with more Khan al-Ahmars that are creating facts on the ground every day in Judea and Samaria, we must stop putting our heads in the sand. For over a decade, the Israeli government and the authorities have been asleep at the wheel. It's time to wake up.